Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. How is everyone doing this week? I hope you are all home and safe and well. I know it's starting to get rough for a lot of people being at home and in their own personal spaces and not having that personal interaction and contact. I know it's starting to really get to a lot of people. So, reach out to your friends and family. There's lots of technology out there. There's FaceTime and all kinds of things that you can do to see people face to face. I encourage this with my daughter every single day. As she struggles to go through this whole process that we're going through. So thank you for staying home. Thank you for being safe. And we will all get through this somehow, some way. So I wanted to talk tonight a little bit about, I'm reading a book right now. It is called Return to Love, and it's by Marianne Williamson. And if you haven't read the book, it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. So check it out. But she wrote a couple of things in there that really struck with me and really stood out for me. And I wanted to share some of those points with you tonight because I just think they're so amazing. It just brought so much more into my awareness. So Marianne Williamson basically wrote this book based upon studies that she did with a course she took called A Course in Miracles. And it's basically bringing into awareness anything with health, with relationships, with everything that we go through in life, and remembering to bring it in with an awareness of love. So one of the topics that she talked about in her book was relationships. And we all come into this life to learn and to teach others, and other people are such a mirror of us. And what I mean by that is people that we meet, if there's something that something that bothers us about somebody else, or something that we admire even about somebody else, that person is just a mirror reflecting back to us, reflecting back to what it is about us that we need to know. Sometimes that's just bringing in an awareness of what we need to know. Sometimes it's bringing up something that needs to be healed with inside of us, something that we don't like, something that we don't want to talk about, to deal with, or to discuss. And they are just a reflection showing us that we need to do something about that. We need to heal that part of us. So in relationships, she talks about 3 different levels of relationships. So the first level is the very casual relationship. It's a casual relationship among strangers. It's the person that you meet in the elevator. It's the bank teller that you speak to briefly. It's the person checking you out in the grocery line. These are all the casual encounters, but they can be so meaningful in the fact that the discussions that we have with them can sometimes be an enlightenment or teach us something that we need to know in that moment in time. It can also be a reflection of how do we treat those people, right? So if you're treating them really, really well, being kind and listening to what they have to say, it's usually an extension of what's going on in your life, how you treat others in your life. Now, if you're crabby with them, that extension is going to continue on into, or could possibly continue on into, the relationship that you have with others. So it's really important that we stop and think about those things, because casual encounters really are not casual at all. They are systematically set up in the universe. Nothing is ever, by chance. Everything is divinely inspired and set up. So pay attention to even those casual encounters to see what it is that you need to learn from them. Now, the second level are the relationships that we have with two people, and or it could be more than two people, but people that we enter into relationships with, people that we enter into semi-long-term relationships. Could be long-term friendships. It could be marriage. It could be, working at the same place for many, many years. These are all those second level encounters. And essentially, I have to look at my notes so I don't forget. So in the teachings of this, we are in these relationships to be taught something in our life. Now, not only are we learning from this other person, but we're also teaching them something that they may need to know. These are the relationships that sometimes end in friendships. It could be ending in divorce. And our society looks at these relationships that if they end somehow we have failed in our lives. And I have to tell you, and especially reading this book, that's not the case. Because if both parties in the relationship have each learned what they've needed to know, it really is a success. Because as humans, that is what we are here to learn. We are here to observe. We are here to take in every aspect of human life. And so by learning, because the relationship has maybe dissolved, it doesn't mean anything. We are still connected to those people energetically. So it's just a matter of that portion has been completed and the job is done, and it's time to move on, for we have learned what we've needed to learn. The third level are those eternal, what I will call eternal relationships. These are the ones where people stay married 50, 60 years, till death do us part. It's the person who starts in a job when they get out of high school and they end up retiring at this job. Those are the third level, where in some point there is this give and take in this learning experience, so much so that there's a balance, that each one is getting the information that they need. Now, it doesn't mean that if you are in a relationship with someone, say you have a friend, it doesn't mean that you have to like that person. Sometimes even the relationships where they are the hardest, where that person is just a thorn in our side, those are still relationships in which we are to learn something from that. So you don't have to necessarily like the person in order to learn something from them. You just have to learn and also provide the teaching for those relationships to go on. So I just found it really fascinating, the perspective that she brought to the table on this. So as you go through life, as you go through meeting people, ask yourself what it is I'm supposed to learn from this person. You might be amazed at what you find. And if a relationship ends, it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that the teachings of that particular person with that person has come to a close. And in that moment, you say thank you, and you begin to be in awareness of this, and just be thankful for the experience and look forward to the next one that comes along. So I hope that helps. Check out Mary Ann Williamson, A Return to Love. It's fantastic. You will not be disappointed. So with that, we are going to go to the phone lines right now. We have Tammy in Delaware, USA. Tammy, how are you this evening? And welcome to Your Time to Shine.
I'm good. How are you?
I am good, thank you.
Good. I'm glad.
What can we do for you this evening?
I was just kind of looking for some general guidance. I didn't know. I'm kind of unfamiliar with your gifts as far as being intuitive, psychic, being able to channel loved ones who have passed on. So I was kind of curious of what your reading might be, or vibes of my energy might be that you might be receiving. And I do have a big kind of issue going on in my life right now that has to do with my daughter, that I'm very kind of concerned about.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well, I do channel, just to answer your question just real briefly, I can channel loved ones and, angels, guides, things like that.
Yeah.
So it just depends on really who comes through.
Right.
I always ask for the highest and best for the person who I'm giving the reading to. And so, I'm never really quite sure who's going to come through, but know that it is what you are needed to know in the moment, and trusting that that message is coming through. So I am a medium, to answer your question. So that's how I can channel.
Thank you.
Let me take a moment and tune in and see what I can find out for you. So there's just going to be a little bit of silence while I tune in to your loved ones and see what they have to say, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay, one moment. So Tammy, wow, I see you surrounded by a lot of loved ones, a lot of angels. There's so much love that is swirling around you and through your family. I can feel the love.
Yeah.
It is just pouring out of you, for your daughter. You guys have a really beautiful relationship. You guys are actually very close.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, it is just really, really, really beautiful. Um, they want you to know that, that they recognize you're going through a really tough time, and that you are surrounded in love, that you are protected, and that you're safe. And they are there taking care of things, and they are there helping you. I know that right now you feel like you're kind of out on an island on your own, and you feel like, where is everybody? Where is my help? Where is my lifeline?
Yes.
And they're saying, we are here. Trust that we are here.
Okay.
We aren't gonna let you down. Hang on just a minute. They're bringing something else through. One moment. Yeah, I can see they're showing me that your daughter is going through a real challenging time right now. Um, there's a hard time, there's like this imbalance of things going on right now.
Yes.
And they're showing me like her straying kind of off path a little bit, um, off path in maybe what you think she should be doing versus really what her path truly may be.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, hang on. Okay, so they're showing me um, that she is off just a little bit off path, but they're guiding her gently back on. It may not
Okay.
seem like that to you, okay? And again, they're showing me that you have so much love for her, and you just want so badly for her to have all of those things in life. As as parents, I know, we just want everything, the best in life for our kids, and they
Right.
want you to know that she's going to get back on track, but it's not going to look like what you are expecting it to look like.
Okay. I do.
Okay.
That does make sense.
Okay.
That does
They're
make
showing
sense.
me that she's a real free spirit.
Yes.
She's a real free spirit. And so the way she sees and views life, is going to be completely different in the way that you see life and that you view life, but it's not wrong. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
right. So there's this place, um, where as parents, and I get it because I've been there, you have to take a step back, right? You have to be able to let them spread their wings and try things out. Even as you may see kind of what's up ahead, right? From your
Right.
experience, from your life experiences, they're saying, guide her the best that you can, but then take a step back. She's one of those
Yeah.
people that learns way better when she learns on her own. I mean, they're showing me an
Absolutely.
instance. Yeah. So they're showing me an instance, and this is how I know kind of what the message they're bringing through. But I remember an instance with my daughter, which she was about 3, and she wanted to go outside and play, and it was snowing. And I said, "You need to put your boots on," and she refused. So finally, as a parent, I just stepped back and said, "Okay, fine, go out there." And she took like 3 steps into the snow, stopped abruptly, looked back, looked at me, looked at her feet, and ran back in and wanted shoes. No?
Yeah.
So this is what they're showing me. They're just saying, it kind of hurts as a parent to watch your child go through that. But sometimes it's so much easier, and they get to where they're going so much faster if we can just take a step back and let them learn that lesson.
And I truly, I've actually gotten criticized by family because I've been a single mom since she was 10 months old. And it's just been her and I. And she just turned 15 on Tuesday. And over the years, we have developed an incredibly strong bond, to where, I mean, it's kind of eerie almost in that we can feel each other's emotions. I mean, it's a very deep level, of the relationship. And I've always let my daughter dye her hair any color she wanted to, or she says she wants to shave her head. I'm like, go ahead, shave your head, it'll grow back. And I've always gotten slack from family members. Oh, why do you let her do that? Why, maybe she wouldn't get so much attention if she didn't have her hair, pink or purple or whatever. And I said, because it's hair and it grows back. And that's what she
Right.
wants. And she's finding out who she is. And that's the most important journey.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, my daughter has been victim to a very horrible crime earlier this year, where she was sexually violated. With the coronavirus, everything has been put on hold.
Right.
Literally, I was supposed to hear from the district attorney whether or not they were going to proceed with a court hearing right before everything got shut down in my state. And in fact, the judge who was looking over the case had to go into quarantine for 14 days. And I hadn't heard from the detective since. And that's been approximately 3 weeks ago now. And again, with COVID-19, everything's kind of at a halt right now.
Right.
And I was on a journey to, my daughter had, unfortunately, because of what had happened to her, could not attend it was her freshman year of high school this year. And it was too hard for her to attend. She tried really, really hard. She's also battled with significant mental illness since she was very young, and in and out of the hospital for suicidal ideations and self-harm. But she's come so far. And then for this to happen, it's like, she looks at me and she's like, why do I keep trying?
Right.
And I'm just kind of stuck in this moment of, I see her sliding backwards because her therapy has had to come to a halt. It's telemedicine, but she was doing some pretty intense EMDR work. I don't know how familiar you are with, psychiatric treatments. But because it was such a trauma, it kind of rewires the brain and represses some of those really, really horrific memories.
Right.
And they're starting to creep back. And I feel her and I see her sliding back as the world as we know it has come to a halt. And I just don't know. I guess I'm longing for the answer of, is she going to get justice? Is this person who violated her going to get or be held accountable for what he's done to her? Unfortunately, this isn't the first time that this has happened to her, and that person was not held accountable.
Right.
So I just see her in so much pain, and she's scary good at hiding her emotions. And, I'm her only parent, literally. Her father is not in her life at all. So I guess I've just kind of been praying and hoping that this person will be brought to justice and that my daughter will, thrive from it. And I guess I just feel very, very lost because I don't have anybody to talk to who understands it first person.
Right.
They can be compassionate and kind and listen, but I am on an island and raising this beautiful child and who's turning into an amazing young woman whom I'm so proud of. And yet I know there's so much pain. And I just really, really want justice for her.
Right. Let me try to give you some guidance here because we're coming down to the last couple minutes of our show. So I want to make sure that that I help you on this. So just real quickly, and at the end of the show, I'm gonna tell you how you can get in touch with me if I may have some resources for you. But just to let you know that there's going to be justice in this, okay? And your daughter is going to come out of this, and she is going to prevail. What I would suggest is with her therapist and such, find out if there's ways that you can do either Skype or Zoom or something like that, phone calls, so that you can continue on with this therapy, because that's really, really important, and especially that she connect with a therapist that she really connects with. So I'm going to give you my website. It's www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. You can also reach me on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also reach me on my Facebook page at Julie YeagerWalker Medium, or Your Time to Shine. Okay, so there's 3 ways to get in touch with me. I am going to have to sign off right now. I thank you so much for calling in. I hope you do connect with me offline, and I wish you all the very best for you and your daughter. Things are going to be okay. Trust me, they're showing me that that's going to be okay. And so thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Thank you. And thank you for your guidance.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside. Until next time, we'll see you then.